Sports Cash crew, welcome back to another week episode with your host, Mr. ESPN, where we discuss everything sports and the business behind it. I'm here with my other host, Mr. Mo Better, Drake, and Kens. How y'all doing, fellas?
I know it's been a while, but it's Candy Kens. Don't forget the chocolate bar, baby. Come on now, God. Don't do me like that, brother. No reaction. Ain't been that long. Happy New Year to you too, friend. Sheesh.
What up?
I'm never calling no grown man no candy anything.
Let's get money.
But we have a great weekend that just finished off with the NFL playoffs and the division round. But before that, we want to touch base what's going on in the college football scene. There's, a little, let's say, unhappy uproar with former Hall of Fame Ed Reed being the head coach of Bethune College. He wasn't too happy about the conditions that he walked into. So, if I think KD, you wanted to touch base on that. Kind of giving, your insight on how you feel about it and what you think about it.
Let's get into some real talk with KD, man. Listen.
Talk to him.
First of all, let's just put it out here. Start right here. I'm with Ed Reed all the way. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He didn't get there by not being passionate. So you can't ask him to be somebody else. He's not Deion, okay? He's not Deion. Deion knows both sides as far as entertainment and all of this, being there's something that they call on a scale of people pleasing versus don't give an F. You know what I mean? And Ed Reed is way past don't give an F. He's a free black man, okay? He got millions in the bank. He don't answer to nobody. Thanks. So, but, I'm not condoning the way he went about it, but that should be like this little about what's actually being talked about. Because we got kids in their dorm with, according to the president, not mold, but mildew. Not mold, but mildew. Go Google what's the difference. There is no difference. Those kids are still in danger. They're still going to have respiratory issues. They sharing helmets. They got to go pick up trash. That's the main issue. So let's get off Ed Reed. He laid his heart out there. He had people like Shaquille O'Neal and other billionaires who we don't know, unnamed donors, because he's freaking Ed Reed. Right. And he had them lined up for Bethune-Cookman. And they screwed the pooch, as our counterparts would say. Y'all screwed up. Y'all screwed up. Letting him go was not the right decision. Shame on you, BCU. Done.
Well, I mean, that's definitely something, look forward to. But I think I agree, if we're going to talk about, support HBCUs and, vouch for more athletes to go there, I think, you want them to go there to a high level standard campus.
One more thing. Last thing, I promise. Just on a man note, man, like y'all can clip this one up. It does not benefit you to be emotional. Okay? Overly emotional.
Right.
Focus that. Now, Ed Reed has, he's a football player. It was hard for him to turn that off, especially being a free black man who doesn't have to answer anyone else. But just some real talk in sports cash, real talk. As a man, it does not benefit you to really, really show overly emotion because it can be used against you. And that's the only reason why. You use those emotions, channel it, and move with precision and rage towards what you're trying to get accomplished.
To be effective.
That's why Deion is doing so well. You don't think Deion got them same thoughts and same feelings? Right. He just knows how to bottle it. And then it's kind of like all of this. It's a bunch of rage and emotion, and he bottles it up into a small little space and then exacts it right into your face. That's more important. That's something where you can get more things done than, get it on social media. But much love to Ed Reed, man. He's going to get
much love to Ed Reed. Shout out to him bringing awareness, letting us know what's really going on, man. Because this obviously has been going on for a long time.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
It'll continue. As long as those people who are scraping money from FAFSA and getting all this money and the president's running around in Benzes and stuff, it's going to keep happening. But this is the conversation that needs to be had for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. changes definitely need to be made coming soon at HBCUs, but definitely something to look forward to come the fall. Definitely keep our eyes on that. But we do have to talk about the heroic, the heart beating, the cringing divisional round playoffs of the NFL that we just experienced this past weekend.
Wonderful weekend.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Very wonderful. Let's start with the Saturday game. The first game, Kansas City versus the Jaguars. I think the whole world heart dropped that first quarter when Pat Mahomes went down. Ankle injury. I know I did. I said, oh shoot, here comes Trevor Lawrence. Sunshine is about to win another game on Saturday once again. The streak is about to continue. But Chad Henne came in and saved the day. 98.
Man, I got something for y'all. My name is Chadward Henne.
Chad Henne, probably the biggest backup of the year, came in, gave a 98-yard drive to save. The Chiefs kept them afloat. Pat Mahomes, man, at this current moment, can we at least say, well, let's put it like this. I think we all agree he's the best in the league right now, right?
Top 5. We're not going to debate nothing else. I'll give you top 5.
Okay. What do we see Pat Mahomes as far as all time?
It's too soon for that, bro.
Yeah, it's too early. I don't know if I can.
It's too early for that.
Too early? Well, for me, I'm going to say top 5 all time right now. On the simple fact of, let's be real, outside of his rookie year, he's been to 5 straight AFC championship games.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's not in 30 yet, guys.
He's a great quarterback.
He's about to win 2 MVPs. All-time passing yards. I mean, not all-time, but passing yard leader, I think 3 or 4 times. He's only in year 6. Like, his resume is... And I'm
going to say this, right? I pause for cause with conversations like that because we're not going to... I think people, we shotgun those kind of theories, and we don't dissect that. We're in a league where the quarterback is protected more than any other era.
Okay.
Right? Wide receivers are also way more protected than they were. Like, I'm sure if you grab a Terry Bradshaw, he can go 5,000-6,000 right now too, if he had the type of protection that these guys are allotted today. That's why I'm like, it's too soon to be that aggressive, because we got to start looking at how the rule changes have changed the game and have allowed, because back then, 3,200 yards, he was elite. Now it's 4,700. You know what I'm saying? But we look at the way things have changed to have allowed quarterbacks to get more yardage and to be safer back there. You know what I'm saying? We hear people complaining all the time, talking about they might as well play 2-hand, they might as well play flag. I think that plays a factor into it. So to take away, the Montanas, the Bradshaws, and all of them, and shove them to the side for Patrick this early, I think is inappropriate. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a traditionalist.
Well, I'll give Patrick this. He had no Tyreek this year. He still went number 1 in the AFC. He's still back at the AFC Championship. Didn't miss a beat.
So compared to his current counterparts, top 5.
I agree with that. So, Jacksonville had a good year, great run, Cinderella run. But
hey, shout out to Trevor Lawrence.
He played a hell of a game. He made a mistake down the stretch.
Wait, no. We not gonna act like he didn't Dak the situation and throw the game away.
That's a fact.
Listen. I'm not gonna say he Dak the situation, because Dak has done this repetitively. This is Trevor Lawrence's first time. They had to win 7 games to get here. You know what I'm saying? That team was a 4-win team last year. Like, they first year with this new coach. What do you expect him to do? He's not supposed to be a magician versus a team that has been to the AFC Championship for the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
He had the second best team. Matter of fact, he had the best team in his division. He should have been in the playoffs.
He had probably one of the worst. The Colts, the Texans, the Titans. Come on, son.
He had the best team in his division.
Right? Best team.
That division wasn't good.
The Father God came down himself 2 weeks ago and helped him win a 27-0 game that he should have not been in. And then he had the opportunity to beat the Chiefs, because they were going to get beat, and he dacked it up.
Yeah.
Let me take my phrase back. He played one hell of a games up to this point. Yeah. Then he saw the real competition.
I don't want to take nothing away from him, but yes, he had a good run.
This is my thing. I'm not going to say he dacked it up simply because hey, there's offense and there's defense. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm looking at him for what he is, where he is in his career right now. Year 2, new head coach. This is a hostile situation. They playing on the road. This is first playoff game, second playoff game. Right. Like this is no new. First, Dak has done this for the last 7 years. That's
what's the time on this? I don't know. But Stan, remember what you just said. Remember
125, 22, 23.
Before we move on, where do we see Trevor Lawrence moving forward next year?
He's gonna be great. He's gonna be good. They're gonna be solid.
He's still going.
That's
he's got the right coach. Doug Peterson.
Calvin Ridley next year. They got a squad out there, man. They gonna fine tune the pieces. He's still on a pretty cheap contract. Calvin Ridley's not gonna be crazy expensive next year. They're gonna figure out some stuff on defense. They're gonna get another year of cohesion. Man, let them. Granted, the AFC is a battlefield out there because the AFC got Patrick, they got Josh, they got Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Justin Herbert.
They got Lamar. The AFC is ugly. So if you don't
the AFC South, so they
championship for the next 3-4 years, let's not pretend it's because he's been dacking it up. We're gonna have to be honest and talk about them other dogs that are in that conference.
That's a fact. Well, anyway, let's go to the second game of Saturday.
Woo-hoo.
The best game of the weekend.
The best.
We
Go
saw
ahead, talk. Let them finish. So we get
Philadelphia Eagles versus New York Giants for the third time this year, and the third win for the Eagles.
Hey,
a lot of people had a little. Oh, Jalen's he's coming off, the shoulder thing. The
injury.
They finished the season strong. They didn't.
Wait a minute. Stop it. I'm gonna stop you now. They didn't win that game because he had 155 yards that game. Shut up.
He didn't lose it.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
He didn't lose it, but it was like, he didn't go out there and throw 500 yards or something. It was just it was a beatdown. Y'all have a monster squad. I said it before. Y'all was gonna win. I was hoping. I said, what's gonna happen is Philly's gonna win. What I hope happens is the Giants win. But y'all did.
I can't understand how that's the best game of the weekend, and it wasn't even competitive.
That was the easiest game of the week.
Yes, it was
easiest because it's only the best because he's a fan.
according to my intel, you're not even a real fan. But you know what?
Wait, we're not gonna bring that up. But shout out to my Giants though, man. Danny Dallas first.
Very proud of them.
I love a year. Y'all had a great year. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all had a hell of a year.
The way that people have been talking about Danny Dimes for the last 2-3 years,
he stepped up.
For him to come through and do what he did this year and bring him to this point, you know what I'm saying?
What he had, a bunch of nothing.
Yeah, they beat the Vikings, man. Shout out to them, bro.
They frauds. They were frauds all year. Frauds.
Who?
The Vikings, frauds.
I'm not gonna say that.
Oh yeah, I already knew that. I picked over them easy. But shout out to Philly, man. Hey, I'm gonna wait till we get to that segment. But shout out to Philly. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is what makes Jalen Hurts special. And Vlad always laughs at me about this because I've been saying Jalen Hurts is a leader of men. He has it. Okay, that's not quantified in yards, and that's not quantified in how many touchdowns, although he had 154, 16 of 24, 2 touchdowns throwing, 1 running. There's a lot of quarterbacks that would wish for that kind of stat line. And also 0 interceptions.
Yeah, no mistakes.
And he got it back. Okay? Messages.
There's another quarterback in his same conference, in his division, that wishes.
Yes, exactly. So
and we'll get to him.
He's a major leader of he's 24 and everybody in the locker room. Brandon Graham, who's been in there twice his age, as long as he's been in the league, and he shuts up when he talks. Brandon Graham speaks first, and then he says, "Go ahead, Jalen," and lets him have the last word. So, I mean, he's a leader of men. He's a winner through and through, and they got their guy for the future.
Hey, big fact.
So now we have the Sunday matchups. I think the matchup that everybody was somewhat.
Now we get to the best game. Now,
right.
We had the Cincinnati Bengals.
Shout out to Joe.
versus the Buffalo
Shout
Bills.
out to Joe.
I have to get this off.
Breezy Burrow.
When the NFL season started, I was wrong. I did pick the Bills to go all the way. I said Bills Mafia. They were stacked. I was like, yo, Josh Allen looked like he's the real deal. He's going to carry this team to the Super Bowl. But over the past couple of weeks, they have looking a little shaky. And this week they were exposed. I think that Miami first round, they definitely showed they had some holes in their team, and that definitely got exposed this weekend. And Joey B tore them apart.
I don't even think they got exposed. I think nobody was paying attention to the Bengals. I don't think people were respecting the Bengals as much as they should have been respecting the Bengals from day one. They had a rocky start. I think they was like 1-3 at some point. They had a terrible first 5
or 2, yeah.
And people were not looking at them like this is the team that was in the Super Bowl. And we looked at that defense, Eli Apple, and we thought that they were not it. And they said, nah, bro, we've improved. We invested in the line. We got the protection, so Joe ain't got to stay on the floor. We got a defense now. All right, the defense is giving you optical illusions. You don't know what to prepare for. You don't know if we're rushing. You don't know if we're going into a zone. You don't know if we got to keep it one over the top. They are crazy defensively, and nobody was giving them the proper respect. And you know what? The NFL had to give out a lot of refunds.
There's somebody on this stream who gave them respect. He need to talk his talk. The guy with his hand on his face right now, talk your talk.
Let me show you the respect. Nah, Joey B by himself. I'm not even talking about his offense, none of that. Joey B by himself is a dog. We've known that since college. That's no question.
That's a fact.
But what we're not gonna do is act like he hasn't been playing trash teams, including Buffalo. He played the Ravens the first round. Don't get me wrong, they had a nice little streak going, but he played the Ravens the first round. No Lamar, you might as well throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
He played the Bills. The Bills been playing bad for the last month or so.
Ever since they've lost 2 of their starting defenders.
Right.
It's been tough for them. They lost Vaughn, and then they lost the cornerback
Tre'Davious White.
That's more than I remember that day. You know what I'm saying? So
I think he left in the middle of that game, and then. But anyways, so they played a bad Bills team. They was already playing bad, and then they got more injuries on top of that. They're about to play Kansas City, which I picked the Bengals to beat, even if Patrick Mahomes was 100% healthy, just on the fact that their defense is atrocious, and just that. Anyways, but the Bengals have had an easy road compared to most teams so far in the playoffs. This is the real test coming up next week when they play these Chiefs. Fortunately, unfortunately, they have to play a one-legged Patrick Mahomes. We shall see what happens, but I expect the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. Anyway, go ahead.
Stats for you. Stats. They've won 10 in a row. 10 in a row, including this game.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Including the playoffs. But look at the people they played.
Thank you.
Okay? The Panthers.
Nobody.
The Steelers, the Titans, the Chiefs, they got a good win there. The Browns, the Bucks. I mean, hey, Tom is there. So technically, but they still had a trash year.
They had a trash season. They were 8-9.
Ravens twice in a row, right? And then the Bills. That's not a lot of tough competition right there. And you can go off of names and say maybe, but at the time that they played them, they were playing some of their worst ball. So Patrick,
I remember when they waxed the Falcons, waxed us. It was despicable. Shout out to Joe.
35-17. Yeah, with that.
Let's just put like this: did anybody predict the Bengals to be at this position at the start of the season?
I did.
Oh, at the start? No.
So hold on. Even we can say yes for the past 7 or 8 games they haven't played top caliber. Nobody expect them to be here at the top of the season.
I mean, you say that, but nobody expected Lamar to miss the last 5 games of the season. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot.
Yeah, I understand that part. But
that's 2 wins. Hold on, would have been much more competitive.
But there's another thing we have to give credit to. Joey B offensive line is not all the way healthy. He's missing 2 offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
We have to give him 3. I'm sorry, 3. So again, I'm not discrediting. Yes, his competition in the past probably
football be footballing. That's the only way. Football be footballing.
That's it.
No one's ever 100%.
Because there's a theory that you can have at the beginning of the season if everybody stays healthy. That's never going to happen because not everybody doesn't always stay healthy. You never know who's going to go out. It could be some second string guy who doesn't matter that much. It could be a starting quarterback. You never know. Could be over all three of your offensive linemen.
Right.
But anyway, I think this is the game where everybody get to get their slander off.
This is the best game of the entire weekend.
This was the best game.
Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, one of the most classical games in NFL rivalries. Whole bunch of stars across the field. Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Deebo Samuel, CMC, Kittle.
CeeDee Lamb. And the God
Lamb of God.
himself.
He's a Lamb of God. He can get crucified.
Brock
Purdy.
Boy. All right. Sitting Purdy out here. I need him to get Brock Lesnar's guy, Paul Heyman, to come out there and do a promo for him. Brock Purdy. You know?
So going into this game, I'm not gonna lie. For the first time, I said, man, I'm still gonna get the 49ers to win.
Easily.
But this might be the year that Dallas has a chance to prove people wrong.
I was hoping.
I had no faith.
And no lie. I was kind of hoping too, just for my team purposes in the NFC Championship game. But let's start from the top. Both defenses played one hell of a game.
Very good football.
And
loved it.
Has been an NFC East rival. I have to give it to the Dallas Cowboys. That defense probably played the best game they played all year.
Big facts.
Now, let's turn it to the other side of the ball. What Jerry Jones did not want to cut the check for. We have to start evaluating is Dak Prescott the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys to take them to the Super Bowl?
First of all, no. Let's ignore all of that. Let's talk about the 49ers and how great.
Hold on, we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
As good as you said,
hold on, we're going to get there.
The defense played, right? For the Cowboys, the 49ers played even better. They got takeaways. They capitalized on mistakes and mishaps. I'm not gonna look at Dak and be like question him. You know what I'm saying? He got one CD. He got his offensive line is not as good as we thought it was.
Two picks.
One of those picks was a deflection. I don't know when the NFL is gonna stop crediting QBs for when a wide receiver and gives it to the DBs. That's not on. That's not on Dak.
That is true. But let me tell you something. When you are in a tight game in a situation like this, there comes times where every play has to be executed to the T. Your margin error has to be this. Right. The game was 9-9. Momentum is in nobody's favor. Dak Prescott, you are playing a third string quarterback, and this is your time to prove to the
won 10 games. A third string quarterback who just won 10 games. Go ahead.
He's playing a third quarterback. We got putting these quarterbacks.
I know he's not playing. I know he's not playing.
He's playing the number one defense in the league. That's who he's.
I understand that part. But this is the time to see Dak. Can you play against? Because every time Dak plays against an elite defense, this sometimes always happen. He would throw 300 yards against Green Bay, but then he go play the 49ers or the Eagles.
Dak struggles against pressure. That's all we learned, right? Dak struggles against pressure.
The question to the room is, are we going to say that Dak is not an elite quarterback?
I don't think anybody ever thought he was elite.
He had one elite start to the season before the Giants broke his ankle. I think that season he was going crazy. He might have won the MVP that year, but that was his best year, and that was his only amazing year.
I don't think we've ever considered Dak elite.
Yeah, a lot of people just lost their jobs this past weekend.
So you mentioned he played the number one defense. Do you know the Cowboys, outside of the Chiefs, was the number 2 team to score in the red zone this year as far as touchdowns?
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
You got to find a way to put points on the board. That's what it means. In a game like this,
first of all, man,
with the stakes.
So if Dak had found a way to put points on the board, do we look at Brock Purdy and say, oh man, you were supposed to make it. You were supposed to pull through. This was your chance to shine. You were the last pick. Blah, 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 blah. That doesn't make any sense. Football is football. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to lose. It don't matter. He could have played a great – we've seen guys play perfect games and lose.
Big facts.
What matters is what the team does. Because you know what? If the Cowboys defense would have found a way to have only allowed 6 points, they would have won. The Cowboys would have won with that plan of whatever game. So being Jerry Jones about the situation and being unrealistic and trying to put all the blame on Dak, obviously, my thing would be, look, let's look at this offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Somebody don't know how to pick up no pressure. And I need help.
We know Zeke can pass block.
Zeke needs to find what the hell happened to Zeke? Zeke has
Zeke's regression.
He got that money in there.
It ain't the money, man. It ain't the money.
He got that money. Ever since he got that contract, it been downhill. Let's be real.
He's a running back.
No. Don't do that. No, don't do that. There's been other guys that got that check and they still produce. Zeke got that money. Then the next year he came out of shape.
So we really believe that Zeke got a check and said, "Oh, I don't have to do my job no more."
I'm not saying that. I can't say I'm not.
What really happened to Zeke is Tony Pollard. That's what happened to Zeke. So TP happened to Zeke. When we went to Dallas to see the Bears play them, it was TP all day.
All day, yeah.
It does something.
Well, Dak didn't play. I mean, Zeke didn't play that game.
Well, but he was watching. And he literally watched his backup take his job that day because he knows it's over with after this season. If you don't take the little scrum that we're gonna give you, it's TP. And TP got hurt, but still,
and TP getting hurt seemed like it had more of an effect on the offense than what Dak.
That's when.
That was big.
So here's my question: if TP went down, right? Who do you expect on the offensive side to lift up the team and carry? Because the only reason I'm saying this is
the offensive coordinator.
I know this is not totally fair, but let's be real. Pat Mahomes went down, refused to get out the game, and he still found a way with one leg hopping around to execute. They changed the game plan. They were not throwing the ball 30, 40 yards down the check downs, run the ball. Check downs, run the ball.
I mean, that's mostly what Pat Mahomes does, man. Every now and then he might spring for a fancy 30, 40-yard bomb. But for the most part, he's throwing 10 yards.
Yeah, but
the game plan that much.
Look at the game plan last weekend compared to how they usually play. They didn't do a lot of explosive plays.
We don't have Tyreek no more. He's not throwing 30, 40 yards down the field.
They don't need Tyreek. They still can do explosive plays with Travis Kelce. What you mean? We saw that last year.
Travis 10, 15 yards and letting him make the difference. That's what the offense has always been predicated on, except for when Tyreek was blowing the top off.
Talking.
He was blowing the top off of that.
But here's the difference, though, and why I'm saying some of the blame has to go on Dak. Tony Pollard went down. The game is tight all game. Yes, she's still playing in the one defense. I get that. But there are certain mistakes that you like, Dak, you've been doing this for the past 3 years. I'm not mad that Dallas lost. I'm mad how they lost. That's the issue I have with them. First of all, Dallas 2-minute drill is trash. Let's be real. That 2-minute drill
that's not on Dak. That's on the offensive coordinator.
It is trash. Trash. You know what?
Design that last play.
And I'll tell you,
Dak needs to sit in the boardroom and say, "Hey, let's line everybody up and have Zeke hike me the ball and have all my offensive linemen blocking wide receivers." That wasn't Dak. That wasn't Dak.
Pure caca.
There's obviously blame to put everywhere, but I don't want to get hyper fixated on trying to put it on Dak because What
about last year though? What about last year?
They poor clock management. That's what that was last year. Poor clock management.
So is the quarterback not kind of responsible for that?
Yeah, but so is the head coach.
But aren't you not the coach when you're on the field?
There's two coaches.
Okay.
Dapo. I'm not gonna put all the blame on the coach on the field. because he's in the game, right?
Hey,
You've played sports before. You understand what it is to be in the game, to be in the moment, to be running, to think, I got to get to the next play. So you can understand how it can be difficult to be trying to process all of that and what's going around outside the game and the clock and all that at the same time. As a coach, that is your job. You're supposed to be looking at that clock like, oh, we're going to need this timeout right now. Let me save this timeout and not call it with 6 minutes to go. I'm going to wait till we get under that 2 minute because we don't need this. It's a tight game. That's on the coach. That's not on the quarterback.
The coach can't play the game for you. That's what I'm going to say.
He game plans. He's the game planner.
He does game plan. He does come plan. But this is the difference between Pat. But this is the difference between Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, and these guys. And
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers not better than Dak Prescott?
Continue with your point.
Kita Jig parler. Let Jig speak.
Hey, no, I'm gonna have to. Aaron Rodgers is a great talent. Regular season, he's amazing, superb. Postseason, he Dak it up too, and I'm not even. I'm sorry.
Yo, we got Moss and we got Dak now. He Daked it up.
Bro.
But anyway, Cowboys are irrelevant. They're back home where they were supposed to be anyway. So let's go to his championship round to wrap up the show. We have the Bengals and the Chiefs again, 2 years in a row. Who do we like for that matchup, fellas?
I like them Bengals, bro. Who they?
Okay. Drake.
I don't know the Chiefs line. Well, I haven't watched them as much as some people here. Like I've been saying, whoever can get to the quarterback in both games actually, but whoever can get to the quarterback the most is going to win. It's hard to win when you don't have protection. Mm-hmm. So that is my issue. I don't know the Chiefs defense like that, but if Mahomes is back on at least 4 of them 5 toes, at least he only need 3.5. To be honest.
Clearly.
Look, Stephon gonna find a way. Okay.
Sure, Tycho for your money.
So yeah, the way if I was a betting man, I would put it on the Chiefs, honestly, because I just can't see Mahomes losing twice to the Bengals.
I'd be shocked, but I feel like if Mahomes wins, I'm gonna have a different level of respect for him. I already respect him highly, but if he wins, I'm gonna put it on the Bengals because again, we talking about 3 offensive linemen out. Mahomes, one ankle might be 60%. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for them to get it off. And again, man, I'm not gonna sleep on the Bengals defense no more, man. I don't care. I thought their defense was ass trash backwards, and watching them up close, like zeroed in and watching the entire game, I'm like, nah, that's a solid little defense they got over there, man. They let Eli Apple make a play to like almost save the game, bro. Like I was born to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a push with the Bengals, even though I'm rooting for my homeboy. I'm my partner though.
I'm going to go Bengals if Pat Mahomes doesn't play. If Pat Mahomes plays, it's going to be a tight game, probably to a field goal. Chiefs will find a way, miraculously, some way, somehow, through the football gods to pull this out. I don't see Pat Mahomes losing if he's on that field to Joe Burrow's 2 years in a row.
He's playing.
We got to see. I mean, high ankle sprain, they might say, hey, man, because that thing swelled up right now, I'll tell you that.
I saw him today. He said, I'm ready to play now.
He got to play.
He got to play. Yeah, he got to.
Put his own.
Let's go to the NFC side. We got the number 1 defense and number 1 offense. The 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do we like for that matchup, Jig?
Hey, come to me last.
Who do you like for that matchup?
I set this thing on fire right now. Let me talk to you. I'm going with sitting Purdy on them. Brock.
Okay.
Purdy. Okay. Listen, that he don't make mistakes. He's not out here being bamboozled. It don't matter what you got planned for him. He's not gonna make no mistakes. He's not gonna overdo it. He's gonna throw the ball away. He's gonna hit the check down. He plays so smart, and I love. I didn't even know I like this kid, but I love him. I love Jalen too. Like I'm a big fan of Jalen, and I want both of these teams to win. I wish this was a Super Bowl because I feel like they both should be in Super Bowl. I love how both of these teams are playing. I love how both of these defenses are playing. This shit is fucking beautiful. But if I had to like draw my foot in the sand, I gotta go with Brock Purdy.
Okay. KD?
Come on, man. With the Eagles, bro. Like the 49ers rushing attack is very good, but I think that's going to be their demise. They're going to rush too hard, and Jalen's going to carve them up, as well as Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott. They have a stable of 4 running backs, one with a big arm.
Stable.
So yeah, they're going to carve them up, Bosa and them, because they can. When you have that kind of firepower on the edge, they can over pursue. They're not meant for pursuit of the quarterback in terms of him rushing past them, and they can run some play action. They can use that aggressiveness against them. And don't forget, they got AJ Brown, they got
Devontae
Smith,
and Quez Watkins. So
they got some weapons to throw outside.
They have forces
so many weapons on both of these teams. It's beautiful. This is what football should look like.
And if you think Brock Purdy hasn't made mistakes, just wait for Sunday, because he's gonna have some heat on his ass. I got the Eagles by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Jig.
Yo. On paper. Listen, on paper, Philly has the heads up. In my favor. Their defense, they have no real weaknesses on their defense. From the D-line all the way back to their safeties, everybody's the truth. Everybody's legit. But San Fran's defense, their DBs are questionable. Besides Troy Polamalu, who's a second, other than the DBs, like they might make plays every now and then, but I don't think they have enough to stay with these Philadelphia receivers. On the other hand, though, man, I feel like Kyle Shanahan is the better coach of the two, and he will come up with a game plan that will help put up points for San Fran. And with that being said, I don't know who the fuck going to win.
Okay.
I think it's going to be similar to the Dallas 49ers game. It's going to be a tough game, low scoring. Last time I said it would have been 10 points, within 10 points, and I was right. I'm going to still keep it. It's going to be within 10 points. I don't know where it's going to be at. It might be 10-2. It might be 18-8, but it's going to be low, and it's going to be close.
Okay. And I ended with this. So you guys had said the Bengals was on a winning streak, right? Well, so are the 49ers. Let me tell you how the winning streak started off. The Rams win. Chargers win. Cardinals win. Saints, Dolphins, Bucks, Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders, Cardinals, Seahawks again, and then they just beat the Cowboys. Out of all those teams, who was really the comp?
No, or who we thought you were.
So if we're going to give that same thing to the Bengals, we got to say the same thing about these 49ers. So I'm going to end it with this. Mr. Irrelevant, your game will become irrelevant on Sunday. You're going to play.
Lock me out of here.
You're going to play a real team now.
Lock me out.
You're going to play a team with a real offense. You're going to play a team with a real defense. This is the time where we are going to see him make
the Cowboys not a real.
The Cowboys are not the Eagles' defense. Let's be
real. Not a real defense.
They're not the Eagles' defense.
Yeah, Eagles' defense.
So, in the words of Deion Sanders, give me my theme music.